Hey guys, we're just on our final surds lesson for today. So surds lesson 3, rationalising the denominator. As usual, I've put the learning objectives just up here in case you want to pause and read through them. But let's get started. So firstly, we're just going to explain why surds are removed from denominators in fractions. I've just put a little dot point here. It's for clarity, consistency, and easier calculations. Which is explaining this question right here. It's just easier. Let's say you have 1 on 3 times 1 on 2. That is 1 on 6. If you had 1 on root 3 times 1 on 2, that's 1 on 2 root 3. Whereas if you had root 3 on 3 times 1 on 2, that is root 3 on 6. So you can see how if you compare these two together, this one obviously has a nicer denominator. And it's just easy to work with. In this instance, you're only doing like 2 multiplications, but if you had to use this answer in another question, it's just a lot simpler if you have a rational denominator. And it's just mathematical convention. Alrighty, so now let's start rationalizing them. So question 2, rationalize the denominator and simplify fully. So to rationalize, what you do is you multiply it by this. So whatever surd is on the bottom, you're going to multiply the bottom by itself to come out with 2, if that makes sense. So because you've got a square root, you're just going to multiply that by itself to get rid of the square root and then to have what's inside of that, which is 2. But because it's a fraction, I just like to write it like this. And yeah, so this is actually equal to 1. So root 2 on 2 is 1. So you're not changing the equation at all. Like you can't just multiply this by 3 or whatever. In this instance, you're just multiplying it by 1, but you've written 1 in a different form. So that is going to be root 2 times 2 equals 2, and then 1 times root 2 is 2. Sorry, root 2. Hopefully I explained that okay. We'll do this one now. So you've got root 5. So we're going to multiply by root 5 on root 5. So you're going to have 3 times root 5 over 5. So these ones are pretty simple, and then further on it'll get a bit trickier. So question 3, we're just doing the same thing, rationalizing and simplifying fully. So in this one you can see that you have a coefficient out the front of the surd. If I were you, I would just ignore coefficients. It's just simplest. If you want, you can include it, but again, I would just focus on the surd. So we've got root 3, so we're just going to do a simple root 3 over root 3. So you got 5 root 3 over 2 times 3, because you've done root 3 times root 3. So that is going to equal 5 root 3 on 6. And this can't be simplified any further as far as I'm aware. So we'll do this one now. We're going to multiply it by root 7 on 7, which is going to be 4 root 7 on 7. And done. Now we have all rational denominators. It's just standard, even if like you got a question just like this, or you're just working with surds on the bottom part of a fraction, regardless of what the question is, in your final answer, make sure that the bottom of the fraction is rationalized. You never want to have a surd on the bottom, no matter what type of question it is. It's just mathematical standard convention. Now on to question 4. So student rationalizes this and writes the answer as that. Is this answer correct? If not, write the answer in simplest exact form. Technically this answer is right, but not in terms of our mathematical rules. So in some of the previous lessons, we've spoken about how you always have to write the simplest version of the surds, and that's just the standard for methods. So in this case, they have done the correct thing by multiplying by root 8 on 8, which does give you that. But from previous lessons, you should be able to recognize that root 8 can actually be simplified into root 4 times root 2, because 2 times 4 equals 8. And then the square root of 4 is 2, so it equals 2 root 2. So it should actually be 2 root 2 on 8, and we can simplify this even further because of the 2 and the 8 here. 2 divided by 8 is 1 on 4. So it's just going to be root 2 on 4. That should be your final answer. And sorry, the working out's a bit crazy, but yeah, this is your final answer for that one. So they were on the right path, but they forgot to simplify it. So that's why it's not correct. Now we're going to work on denominators with conjugates. This is where it's a little more complex. So conjugate, best way I can explain it is just more by showing you. So the conjugate of 3 plus 1 equals root 3 minus 1. And vice versa. If it was root 3 minus 1, it would be root 3 plus 1 would be the conjugate. So this is actually a concept we use in specialist maths, but the reason we do this is because let's say I have a minus b times a plus b. So we've got a squared plus ab minus ab minus b squared. So as you can see, these two middle terms cancel each other out. And in this instance, the a is a root. So it's a square root, a surd. So we don't want surds in the denominator because we're trying to rationalize it. So this is why we use the conjugate. Because it will get rid of those surds. So when a is squared, actually, I'm just going to write this as root a so you can get a better idea. Cool. Okay, so then root a squared is obviously going to be a. These two cancel each other out. And then minus b squared. So yeah, this is why we use the conjugate, because we're trying to get a rational denominator. So let's start with this one. Conjugate of this would be root 3 minus 1. So we're going to multiply it by the conjugate. And remember, you have to do top and bottom because this divided by that is 1. And you can't just like add a random multiple. You have to do it by 1 and then kind of figure out how to make it 1, if that makes sense. So now we'll do this. Using this form, I'm just going to cheat a little bit just to be a bit quicker. So it's going to be 3 minus 1 squared over here. And the 1's going to be in brackets. So, and then you've got root 3 minus 1 on top. So it's just going to be root 3 minus 1 over 2. So that should be your final answer. So as you can see, it does get a bit trickier depending on what the denominator is. But yeah, the main goal is just to get rid of that surd. So now we're going to go on to B. We're going to multiply it by the conjugate of this, which is root 5 plus 2. So as you can see here, it's not about turning it into a negative. It's about making it the opposite of whatever the original sign is. So this one's negative, so this one's going to be positive. And then root 5 plus 2 on top. So that is going to be 2 times root 5 plus 2, because we've got the 2 up here. And then I'm going to cheat again, just using this a minus b squared thing off to the side. So it's going to be 5 minus 2 squared, which equals 2 root 5 plus 2 over 5 minus 4 is 1. So it actually just equals 2 times root 5 plus 2. If I were you, I would just leave it like this. Sometimes it's tempting to expand the 2 out, but since 2 is like a shared multiple or factor or whatever, it's just easy to keep it out the front, and that is technically the simplified version rather than expanding it out. So that is how you do those two. Okay, now we're on to the final 3 questions, just a couple of mixed practice ones and identifying common errors. I'm just going to cross out this 2 here. I was reading this before. I don't think this 2 is meant to be there. It doesn't really make any sense. So, student attempts to rationalize 1 over root 2 by writing this. Identify the mistake, write the correct working. Okay, so they've got root 2 on the bottom, so they've multiplied it by root 2 on 2. That part's correct. They're on the right path. So then they've gone 1 times root 2. This part's correct. And then they've done root 2 times root 2. So this part should equal 2, not root 2. So if in this mistake, this should actually equal 1, which isn't correct because obviously 1 on root 2 can't equal 1. So this is what I'm talking about with making sure that this here, you have to have the root 2 on top of the root 2. You can't just multiply by root 2 in general because it's not equal to 1. So yeah, correct answer should be root 2 on 2. Cool, that one's pretty simple. And then these two, okay, these ones look a little more tricky. We're just rationalizing and simplifying again. Root 3 on root 12. Okay, so we're going to multiply again by root 12 on 12. 3 root 12 over 12. That's what it's going to equal. However, root 12, I believe we can simplify further. That turns into 3 times 4, yeah. So that is going to equal 2 times root 3 because you're rooting the 4. So that's simplified. So if that's the case, root 12, we're going to sub that into here. And so this now has to be multiplied by 3. So it's going to be 6 times root 3 over 12. And that is the simplified version. I'm just going to quickly make some more space for the second part, part B. And I'll write it down here. Cool. Okay, so part B. This is where we're using the conjugate again. And like I was saying before with the coefficients, I would just pretend it's not there for now. It's just way easier. So conjugate of root 5 plus 1 is root 5 minus 1. So we're going to do 1 on 2 root 5 plus 1 times root 5 minus 1 on root 5 minus 1. So expand this out. Root 5 plus 1 multiplied by root 5 minus 1 is going to turn into 5 minus 1 squared, which is, remember, we've got a squared minus b squared. Yeah, if I were you, you can always expand it. In a test conditions, I would personally expand it. I'm just being lazy because I can. But yeah, if you're quick, if you prefer quick maths, it's just good to remember this is what results with the conjugate. However, I forgot we've got a 2 in front. So this where, see how it's just easy if the 2 stays out front. So you just multiply the conjugates together, keep the 2 out front, and now we can expand. So it's still root 5 on 1 on top. 5 minus 1 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. So that is your final answer for part B. Cool, and then finally, question 8, which of the following is written in correct form? Okay, obviously not this one, because it has root 3 on the bottom. So it's an irrational denominator, and that's not the mathematical standard convention for this one. This one, to me, looks pretty good. You've got a rational denominator. You can't simplify that any further. That looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to go with B for now. I'll just double check C. Yeah, so first of all, you've got an irrational denominator. And second of all, root 3 divided by root 3 just equals 1. So that's not the simplest version either. Not simplified and a rational denominator. So I'm going to go with B. Cool. And that's it on our lesson today for surds rationalizing the denominator. Hopefully that made sense. Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard once you get the hang of it. It's mainly just remembering how to use the conjugate, as that will be the most difficult thing you'll come across.